Hello and welcome to another update video on Ethereum. So the Ethereum chart has played out over the last few weeks, months nicely. We have seen a corrective pullback. Our base case as we moved into August was that we should get a wave 4 correction. A 3-wave move down basically. Yeah, a counter trend move. That is what we could identify with Elliott wave. The support area since that time, I mean, since kind of mid-August, yeah, has been $3,374 to $4,061. So what have we seen? We have seen a rally, an impulsive-looking rally into the August highs. 2 swing highs formed here that were significant. And then, indeed, a corrective pullback. And I think we can all agree that at the moment, at least, this looks like a 3-wave move down. So, I mean, in the end, Ethereum hasn't done anything that would be unusual. In fact, Ethereum has reached the ideal target for a 4th wave at $3,665. That's the 38.2 retracement. It's an ideal target and support level for a 4th wave. I always say that, yeah? So again, most people see chaos when they look at these charts, but it is actually usually the same stuff that's being followed. It's the same patterns again and again. Now, again, you can always, on the micro level, then, say, okay, this here could have been the low, or maybe this is the low, but that's micro analysis. Looking at, generally market sentiment and what structures normally do that are in a trend after an aggressive upside move in what we call a 3rd wave, a 4th wave, a corrective pullback should follow, which should be rather sideways. I mean, you can argue that's sharp, but it's actually, see how long we moved sideways, and we're back already kind of above the September low, and we are already just now fighting with the August lows here, let's say not the August lows, the 19th of August low. So we're trying to get back above the box here. So it's more of a sideways correction. Even though Ethereum dropped quite strongly, round about 30%. Now, what did we say? We said we have to give the market room all the way down to the 50% retracement. That, from the top, was a 31.5% move, right? So I think we captured it quite nicely with our support zone here. In addition to that, we have the 21-week EMA, which I'm also tracking for Bitcoin. Just as an additional level that you guys wanted to see on the chart, which kind of funny enough also added support here in the area around the 38.2 retracement. Now the question is now, how can we determine now that a low is in? Now my take is still, and the base case still is, that Ethereum can rally in a 5th wave. And you see the next, you could say the minimum target for that 5th wave is 5,230. The next level above is 5,800. Now, assuming we might have struck a low here in wave 4, we can also add another layer of analysis, because to calculate targets for the 5th wave, we should measure the length of the move up into the top of the 3rd wave. We go to the low of the 4th wave. And then an ideal target is usually the 61.8 FIB and the 50% FIB. These are relevant levels. Sometimes the 38.2, but that's a bit weak usually for cryptos, it is. And that gives us just some additional levels to watch, which we can actually delete because they overlap perfectly with these other 2 levels. So actually, maybe we leave them on the chart just to show the confluence. Always interesting how these levels kind of, like magic, work together. Let me remove the one that we don't need anymore that was reached already. But here you can see that different ways of measuring at different layers of confluence, you could say, different levels, they match at the same locations. 5,220 to 5,230 area, and the 5,750 to 5,815 area. So if we get another high, I mean, ideally, this would be my minimum zone, yeah, ideally higher. So if we continue to grind higher, then the first objective would be a break above 4,400 and then a break above $4,750. But you see it on the chart, it's the green line, $4,400 is the next objective above. Now, if we look at the ETH short-term chart then, we are now testing micro support that I shared earlier today already on Discord. Here you see everything zoomed in. You see the low of the fourth wave. You see a potential fifth wave that could be unfolding, at least the early stages, yeah. That could drive us higher in the blue scenario. I've mapped out the blue count, the bullish count, and you see here the 4,400 level as well. But, you know, it's way too early to say we've bottomed. We haven't even broken above that level. We broke yesterday above the first early levels, right? But very early levels, very, very, micro resistances. But the 4,400 one is the most meaningful one, I think, here in this range. Even with one more high, it's only a 3-wave move up. We really need the 5 waves, which I'm skeptical of until I actually see it. Yeah, we want to see these 5 waves. I see it as potential, definitely, as potential that a low formed here indeed on Friday, a meaningful low. But I need to see the structure to confirm that now. We need to see those series of higher highs and higher lows. So I think for today, for the coming sessions, market is again moving quite fast. The nearest micro support area is here between $3,952 and $4,114. And if we get one more high, then we could test the 4,400 level. Then another higher low and another higher high gives us 5 waves. Now, before we wrap up the video, need to obviously mention what, I need to have like a limit, kind of a limit, right? I need to have a level when I will change the scenarios. When would I have to change my opinion about the chart and that one more high? I think it starts to become less likely that we get that one more high once we start to see a decisive break below $3,370. A decisive break, yeah. That doesn't mean a wick below. So we might see a wick below and then a quick recovery. That's not an invalidation point, our support area here. It's more an area of sentiment. Sometimes sentiment goes to extremes. But yeah, if I see a decisive break below, which might be a break and then consolidation and then further downside, yep, I think we have to look for different scenarios. So that's the advantage of Elliott Wave. It always gives us the key levels where sentiment shifts. Yeah, that's the update on Ethereum. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, I invite you to join us on X for additional charts, news, updates, and much more. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.